guys, Mustang here bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so yesterday we saw the reveal of the mini Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku showed on the special live stream, and then of course they posted the full details on to the Twitter and other social media stuff not long after the stream had finished. I personally think that Goku definitely looks interesting. He is, I would say, probably the best TUR. I haven't seen the full calcs for things like his defense and stuff like that, which I think the big thing for me from seeing his kit is they clearly showed, and they showed it in the video they post like during the stream, they actually showed gameplay, and they showed a 69% mini Goku doing like a 68 million attack stat into an additional that was like 70 odd. He has his active skill that can do a ton of damage on turn 4 and then countered a super as well. It was just like an insane amount of damage output all in one turn. But the big thing is going to be, what is his defense like? Because I worry that his defense might be okay for now. Like I think I said in the breakdown video that I did, he should be, because he's not a slot 1 unit, so after he's attacked, he should be tanking like basically all normals, because he has 44% damage reduction, and his defense should get to a relatively decent amount, but he will obviously die to supers from the biggest bosses in the game, which I don't think is necessarily a terrible thing for a unit that is a damage dealer. We don't expect units that put out tons of damage to also be insanely tanky as well. Like, units have got to be one or the other, otherwise the game would just be too easy. But yeah, I think he's pretty cool. Obviously he releases at an interesting time because a lot of people are very much in the save for the anniversary mode at the moment. So I wanted to get people's thoughts on this guy. Made this post as we always do for these community response videos. What are your thoughts on Daima Super Saiyan 4 Mini Goku finally coming to Dokkan? Is he good enough? And we're going to go ahead and go through the replies here. So I made this post actually yesterday, so it should be a decent amount of opportunity for you guys to get in here. I try to leave the post for a while to then get the replies to then record, because generally what happens is the post will suddenly get way more attention like after I've already recorded, which is obviously a little bit annoying, and it's annoying for you guys because your comments don't make it into the video. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump in. So I got confused straight away by this first comment that said good bait, because being on the internet as long as I have, I just assumed that the person meant that my post was bait in some way, shape or form, but they actually just meant that Goku is a bait banner, which makes sense, right? Because yeah, he's coming out right before the build up. Well, I say right before the anniversary, in this build up to the anniversary, and so yeah, it's one of those things, if you summon for him, you are dipping into your anniversary fund, which I know a lot of people don't want to do. So we got our boy Proton, the GOAT. His details are surprisingly mini for a summonable card, but I like him. A very explosive card for turn 4, possibly the best leader for Pure Saiyans and Gohan from Heroes. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm most looking forward to, is like all 4 of the Heroes Super Saiyan 4 Easy A's for this year for Heroes are all going to be on his lead. Hopefully will be good. Like his team and Giant 8 Power is going to just be super fun, so I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, Holden says he looks as good as he realistically could be for a TUR in modern Dokkan. Long gone are the days of STR Cooler of 2019, AGL, DBS Gogeta 2018, or Tech VB in 2017. He's better than a lot of top tier units, but I'd say the top 4 are all comfortably better. He's good bait, but still bait. I mean, yeah, this is one of those things. Now that we have so many LRs, and the Dokkan Fest and Carnival LRs are becoming so powerful, it kind of is true, right? Like, no TURs are coming out, and it's like, okay, well, you have to get this guy. Like, this guy, you know, is almost the best unit in the game. Like, it's always just going to be a bunch of the top tier LRs. This guy definitely is good bait because he looks really good. He looks really fun to use. His leader skill is good. He's on a bunch of good categories. He fits well on other teams because he doesn't even need the demonic power ally. He just needs superclass allies to get his full passive. But yeah, he's not coming out as like, even if he's the best TUR, he's not even close to like the quality of the GDC LRs or anything like that. But it's one of those things we've discussed over the last year or so, how TURs are kind of becoming less valuable to summon for, because the big celebrations are where you want to summon, and they're mostly all LRs anyway. So yeah, as he's good bait, but still bait is probably a good summary. But then we have Vector saying people are being weird about him. He is broken. So I saw a bit of back and forth with Vector and some other people on the timeline. Like, he's saying, like, I don't understand what people aren't seeing in Mini Goku. Like, he thinks he is, like, crazy busted, like, broken, which I don't really see that personally. Like, we've seen units that hit crazy hard, like him dropping a 60 into a 70 million attack stat isn't something that we haven't seen other units do before. And, like, his defense is going to be okay, but, like, he does only have guard for 5 turns, which is fine for a lot of the shorter content that we do have as the hardest fights in the game at the moment. But yeah, he's good for sure, but I don't necessarily think that he's broken. Obviously that 69% one we saw, be interesting to see how much more he does at Rainbow, but realistically, like, once you get to 2 dupes and you have all your hidden potential abilities, the last 2 dupes aren't making a crazy amount of difference. And so the difference between 69 and 79% isn't particularly massive either, but it'll be interesting to see what he's like with his full potential. Then we have Piccolo. I want to summon on him, but I should skip because I will not forgive myself if I can't pull the anniversary characters. Exactly. With the amount of stones that are given out during the anniversary, you should ideally be trying to save going into the anniversary with around about 1,000 stones, because with the amount that the anniversary then gives out, you should have enough that by the end of the anniversary you get to the pity, because the anniversary usually gives out around 1,000 to 1,500 stones, and then obviously depending on, like, the SSRs you can trade in for extra coins and stuff like that, you should be able to get to the pity if you're going into the anniversary with about 1,000 stones. And so if you have 1,000 stones right now and then you spend like 500 stones to get Goku, you know, you're then potentially not going to be able to get to the pity in the anniversary. And so if you get unlucky with your actual summons, then you could end up walking out of the anniversary without any of the new units. So that is something that you do have to think about quite significantly. But we'll talk about that in more detail. Obviously, I will do a summon on skip video. I want to do a video going over my predictions for who will be on the banner. So we'll talk more about the summoning side of things in those videos. But we have number 1 Kid Buu fan says, should have been better. Most importantly, should have been an LR. Can't believe they dropped this guy as a random October Dokkan Fest, so he's likely going to phase out of the meta in a few months. He would have been stronger if he was an LR too. I mean, maybe, but I mean, we've seen LRs that are in a similar boat, right, where they're dropping these couple of big attack stats, but they're not going to survive, like, the big boss super attacks. So I don't even necessarily agree he would be stronger if he was an LR, aside from, like, having some slightly higher base stats, but, like, that wouldn't make a crazy difference. Honestly, I actually agree with this strategy. I disagree with this post. Like, I feel like we're getting adult Super Saiyan 4 Goku as an LR for the anniversary, so dropping the mini one as a TUR, like, before the anniversary makes sense to me, and is one of the things that I said I thought could potentially happen, like, with the adult one for the anniversary and then the mini one just dropping as a Dokkan Fest, like TUR, which honestly is probably the better way of doing it, because the adult one is the one that people are the most hyped for. The adult one is the one that most people want. Like, a lot of people don't even like the mini version, but like the adult version. So dropping this guy now, and then people can pick him up if they want, like whales and collectors and stuff obviously will try and go for him to then get the adult one for the anniversary, because obviously they're going to work super well together. But yeah, I mean, you could argue he could have been better for sure. I don't think he should have been an LR, because the adult one's going to be an LR. And I've been playing Dokkan since the early days. I remember when LRs were introduced and there weren't that many in the game, and now it just feels like there's so many, and like all the best units in the game are LRs. I don't feel like every single unit has to be an LR. So let me know what you think. Sane Man says, finally some Daima content. Really happy about it and more excited for the Heroes Limit Breaker Easy A's. Yep. My 10th anniversary Wishstone came in clutch, and Super Saiyan 4 stocks keep going up. Yep. That Giant 8 power team is going to be super, super fun. I can't wait for that. Jesus, my first reaction was, gosh, finally. I'm not even excited, but he is very good. I mean, this is what we talked about, you know, over all these months, that people were really hyped for Daima to come to Dokkan when it was happening, and like just after it had finished for a certain amount of time. But, you know, some of the hype has like waned for a lot of people. And you can see that here, right? Aaron says, I wonder what Easy A's we could see. Could it be the Heroes units, or will it be something different? And he looks amazing. Yeah, the EZAs are interesting because obviously he leads Pure Saiyans and Demonic Power. So like any Pure Saiyan that's due an EZA in theory could be up for an EZA. Crossover, we don't know if we're getting anything later in the month. Like we don't know if this guy's going to have a part 2 LR because normally we would have Heroes for the second part of November. We know we're getting those manga anniversary cards and we don't know like if those are going to be a banner like Heroes because they did say that they're summonable for some of them, so I'm not sure. But yeah, we could see some of those crossover EZAs, like the random Super Saiyan 3 Vegetas that we got, like the Tech GT one and the physical one. They're obviously on Pure Saiyans. Well, actually, they're not on Time Travelers, are they? Yeah, I don't know. The EZAs will definitely be interesting. I'll probably do a video to talk about that as well. But yeah, he does look pretty good. Raditz's son says, is he good enough? How are we supposed to know that? He isn't out yet. I mean, it's funny because, like, on the one hand, I'm one of those people that say, like, we shouldn't judge units until they're in the game yet. But at the same time, you can read their kit and get a pretty good idea of what they're doing and if they're good or not. Like, sometimes it's hard to tell exactly how good they are, but you can tell whether they are good or whether they are bad to a certain extent just by looking at their kit. So, you know, it's just one of those things. Once you've played the game enough and you know, like, stats and everything, like, you can read a unit's passive and be like, oh, this is terrible. Or, okay, yeah, this is really good. Like, you don't necessarily know exactly how good, especially without doing the calculations for things like their post-super defense and their attack stats and stuff like that. But you can get a pretty good idea just from reading their kit. LR Tech Broly says they did him justice, which, yeah, I mean, again, I wasn't expecting him to be a crazy release because I expect the adult one for the anniversary, but he does seem like he probably is the best TUR. So Hit says he's solid, but nothing crazy. I don't see myself summoning for him, to be honest. Wish they just made him an LR. The gap between LRs and TURs is just so massive these days. I mean, it can be, and I did mention that already. Like, obviously, all the best units in the game are LRs. But again, like, they also design units, I don't know what their parameters are exactly, but they design units to be a certain way within a certain framework. So him being an LR, like, his passive would probably still just be exactly the same. The only difference was he would have 2 super attacks, and he would have slightly higher stats. We can't necessarily just say, like, oh, well, if he was an LR, he would be better, because, like, in theory, his passive would just be the same, because they would have still designed him the same way. I mean, I guess we can never know that for sure, but yeah, like I said, I don't think every unit has to be a TUR. They're going to draw, it has to be an LR. The adult Super Saiyan 4 Goku, I still think is going to be an anniversary LR, so he's the main one that people should really be focusing on anyway, I suppose. Son of Lars says seems great for the current climate and not as restrictive as some of the other releases have been lately. I'm a little worried about his guard running out in longer fights, especially if we switch back to that meta. Very surprised by the timing of this character as well. Yeah, I am surprised. Like, I thought we weren't going to get any of the major stuff from Daima now until the anniversary. As I'd said, I thought there was a possibility they could drop the mini one first and then move on to the adult one for the anniversary, but I didn't expect it to be in this time slot. It was one of the ones we were predicting, but obviously I was really hoping for like a big crossover thing or something. But yeah, an interesting timing for the release. For a lot of people, like I say, the timing is going to be more so the decider that he'll probably get skipped to keep saving for the anniversary. But then we've got the boy Chili, good but overshadowed by the manga characters for me. I know Goku will return in at least 5 months, if not 3 months from now, but the manga stuff, we have no idea if or when they will return. So for me, that makes them of a higher importance, but Miniku is my favourite version of Super Saiyan 4 Daima. Yeah, see, that's very rare. Like I said, I know there are some people who just straight up don't like the mini version and only care about the adult version. So it's rare to see someone saying that the mini one is their favourite. But yeah, this is interesting, the manga cards thing, like we already mentioned. If they're going to be on this random banner, probably, so I've seen people say it's like could be a replacement for Heroes, where they're only like, you know, 7 cards on the banner and it's guaranteed featured for every summon. And then, yeah, we have no idea whether they'll return again in the future or not. So they could end up being those cards like the Arale cards and stuff like that, where if you don't get them now, you might not ever get them because they're special for the 40th anniversary of Dragon Ball, which is kind of crazy because, like, for me, I said yesterday when we talked about the details, I'm not a huge fan of them. I think the way they've done the animations is like really lazy, especially when we've seen examples of other games doing actual animated manga panels. But obviously the collector in me is like, well, if they're not going to, potentially not ever going to come back again, then I kind of have to summon for them, don't I? But we'll see how that goes. Solar says, main thing I would have wanted different is him getting a revive, starting from the turn his guard runs out, doing the revive counter, upside down Kamehameha, and then getting permanent guard after. That would have been awesome. Yeah, that would be a good like balance for the fact that like, yeah, he loses guard, but then you can revive and then he gets guard afterwards. So it kind of keeps him as a solid defensive option. But yeah, I think he is good as he is, but that would have obviously made him considerably better for sure. Mia says he seems alright, but not really a must summon. Dokkan really missed the hype for Daima, and I kind of just don't care. Exactly, this is like we said already, right? People had been waiting for a while and still keeping up the hype, but it's been almost a year since Daima ended, so people are just not as like excited about it anymore. I don't care says good leader skills, solid kit. Only one thing I have to complain about, I hate Daima and how it looks, don't like the animations. I mean, that's wild, but each to their own, obviously, but Daima has like some of the like best Dragon Ball animation that we currently have. So want to see how we get what we get for the second half of the celebration, and then I'll flip a coin for summon or skip. I still hope for heroes. Unfortunately, as much as that would be awesome, we're not going to get any new hero stuff. We're just going to get the Easy A's, and I assume the Easy A banner, because I think they have to do a banner when they Easy A the characters so that you do have some way of picking them up if you don't have them. But yeah, Azura Flame God says, I'm excited for this, but at the same time, wish it wasn't so close to the anniversary. Yep, I think a lot of people are just going to be in that same boat. If you're free to play or you don't spend much in the game, you should just be saving everything for the anniversary. So this guy, unfortunately, will be a skip for a lot of people who would like to summon for him. But yeah, it's just probably not the best idea this close to the anniversary. Dokkan Universe, a skip to be fair. Like, I am not a Daima wanter at all, and the kit is sure far from bad, but not enough to be needed. I mean, yeah, like, he's not like, oh, you have to have this unit. He is really, really good, and he will go on the teams of some of the best units. Like, he definitely is a good unit to have, but you don't need to have him, right? He's not like when the anniversary LRs come out and we have like a new best unit in the game that demolishes all the content, and it's like, okay, well, ideally you really want to be having this guy in your box. Like, this Daima Goku is very much a nice to have, but definitely not a need to have. Spraddle Cake says, I'm very excited for him to finally make his debut. Animations are beautiful and he'll hit like a freight train. Mainly worried about his defense with guard only being 5 turns and 44% damage reduction, but need to actually see him in game before I judge too hard. I'm pumped. Yeah, because his post-super defense should be pretty decent, like well over 1 million. And then he's got 44% damage reduction and guard. So as I said before, like most bosses, normals will just be doing double-digit damage to him. He's also got a 44% chance to dodge, remember. So if he gets a big super attack targeted his way from the toughest bosses, he can still potentially dodge. It's not like one of those things where if you see the animation start to begin of the boss super attacking at him, you're like, oh, well, I've lost. Because obviously, as long as the event doesn't disable dodge, he could still dodge it. And of course, if it's a Ki Blast super, he can counter it, and the first Ki Blast super he takes of the event, he automatically counters it. So that is pretty good, and actually something that I guess is worth bearing in mind. If you're fighting a boss that does a Ki Blast super, that boss literally cannot kill you with their first super attack because he will counter it, right? So that's something that is very cool. If we get a new hardest boss that would be killing him outright with a super, but they do a Ki Blast, then obviously he's still going to be pretty good defensively against that boss. So that is something to keep bearing in mind. Ultra says, we finally got the new Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Daima Wanters can finally rest. I mean, like I said, more people probably prefer the adult one, and especially people still want the adult Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. The animations look cool, decent kit, although defensive capabilities look a bit low. Overall, glad he's here, but most people should skip and coin him later unless you really want him. I mean, I do agree with this, yeah. Most of this is all pretty straightforward. Defensive capabilities a bit low, I would agree, is the one thing I'm a little bit worried about. But, like I said, if he's going to be a crazy damage dealer, then I'm not expecting him to tank the hardest super attacks in the game, because not every single unit should be good at every single thing. Otherwise, the game would just be too easy. Trim Raccoon, I think he looks solid, just wish his guard didn't run out. I think, yeah, even if he just had permanent guard, I don't think that would make him like super busted OP. Like, I think he could have had permanent guard or a condition to have guard after the 5th turn maybe. But Yeah, it is what it is. I don't know, honestly, says Nagato. His passive seems to not be enough, but I could be wrong. We'll see once he's released and we can test him. Yeah, he, like, again, you can never know for sure exactly how well a unit's going to perform until we see them. Like, we can get the numbers from doing the calcs, but it's always good to see them in practice. But just on paper, he definitely looks solid, but yeah, his defense could be a concern. Super Saiyan 4 Kakanobre says, not to mention the Limit Breaker Goku and Vegeta in the leader skill of, yeah, the 220 Mini Daima. I hope they get very good EZA for sure. Like, these guys and the Super Saiyan 4 Bardock and the Super Saiyan 4 Gohan are all on the full leader skill for this Daima Goku, and there's a very high chance that at least the Gohan should be pretty good, because with this Goku being a slot 2 unit, he obviously wants a really good slot 1 tank that he's going to share decent links with. So yeah, the Super Saiyan 4 Gohan, if he gets a really good EZA, then he could be a great slot 1 unit for this Daima Goku team. So definitely looking forward to seeing what these heroes EZAs are going to be like. Smooth Operator says he's going to nuke the game. I mean, he definitely is going to be doing a lot of damage, so that is good. Leader skill feels a bit wonky with demonic power, but I can work with it. I mean, I made a video yesterday going over his leader skill. I think it's pretty good. So yeah, we can make some interesting teams with that. Munther says, I'm going to use the tickets. That's fair. We're going to have the Seriously Serious and the Dokkan Day tickets. Sipping Hot Cocoa says, he's cool, but I lost all hype for Daima a long time ago, which again, something we've already mentioned, is just the unfortunate side effect of them taking this long. I only hope Adult Super Saiyan 4 Daima is not only anniversary but has Dokkan originals. At the moment, I don't see how you top Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's animations without doing so. I mean, it's one of those things that being one of the GDC units, like, I don't know if they're necessarily planning to immediately top him with like the next release. I guess it depends, because we know that like these units take a while for them to not only develop, but also obviously, you know, just making the animations and stuff obviously takes a certain amount of time and resources. So it's one of those things where I don't know necessarily how quickly we should be expecting to see a character who is surpassing Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta in terms of the animations. I mean, the anniversary probably is the big like predictor, because obviously, you know, GDC into anniversary, they're the two big celebrations now, basically about 6 months apart. So if they spent all that effort on Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta as one of the GDC characters, then in theory we would obviously hope that they're going to spend that kind of effort and time on at least one of the anniversary characters, because obviously they are the big headline of the year. You know, the GDC is still, it's kind of like obviously billed now as being anniversary level because it's like the global anniversary, but the main anniversary is still always going to be seen as and hoped as like the best celebration in the game. So you would hope that at least one of the units is going to be like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta level in terms of animations, but I guess we'll see. Z-Fighter Cadonia says he is good. I just have this feeling he won't be usable for more than 2 months. I mean, that is my primary concern, right? Is if the anniversary ushers in a new difficult level of power creep and this guy, I mean, again, with the stats and everything that he has, I think he should be able to tank normals fine, even against tougher bosses that might come out. So at the end of the day, like, that's kind of all he needs to do. As I've said before, like, for me, characters who are big damage dealers, I'm not expecting them to also just face tank the hardest supers. He's got a 44% chance to dodge. I'd probably give him a decent amount of dodge in the hidden potential, so at least you know you're not like 100% cooked if a super does come his way. He also has the Ki Blast counter, so I think he's still going to be good. It'll be the problem if we get new bosses and they're hitting hard enough with their normals that they kill him even with his post super defense and 44% damage reduction. Then obviously that'll be very disappointing. Cloud55 says he is mid, which I think is just wrong. Even if you don't think he's super like crazy, he's probably the best TUR. So I mean, saying he's mid is, I don't know, I definitely don't agree with that. I hate this form, so skip. I mean, yeah, there are some people that don't like the mini version. Some people don't like Super Saiyan 4 in general, so that's fair. Ophelia says looks good defensively, but I don't get why units are releasing with no additionals or crits. Damage might not be good. He has 44% crit. It is like just always, it is passive, so I don't know if they missed that part. Also, locking could be really bad for him because he won't get to build up his dodge with supers. Really happy he's finally getting a unit though. I think, have they misread his kit? Because he doesn't need to super to dodge. He just has 44% dodge and 44% crit and 44% damage reduction. That's just part of his passive. So possibly they've just misread it, but Blazer Dragon says, interesting on how this Goku is on demonic power, considering the few options for leaders making use of the category overall. Still, for those lacking replacement leaders for demonic power, Pure Saiyans is definitely one way to go too. I mean, yeah, his leader skill could definitely be really, really good, and his team can have some very interesting options. Extra Arm says, I don't care if he's good or not, he's so cool. I mean, yeah, fair. Tech Dokkan Fest Prince Vegeta says he dies to Red Zone Broly from the 7th anniversary. I don't know about that. What is his post Super Deep? Red Zone Broly. Red Zone Broly was obviously a crazy boss at the time. In fact, I need to check this. Let me double check here. I'm going to bring up Dokkan info. I'm getting baited for sure, but how far do we go back? Where's the Red Zone for? Yeah, movie edition Red Zone. Okay, versus Broly. So AGL Broly at the end of the Red Zone. Supers for 1.2 million. So bearing in mind that Goku has 44% damage reduction, like, and has type advantage because he's tech, and Broly does a Ki Blast super attack. So not only will Goku probably just counter Broly, but yeah, even if he doesn't counter him, like his post super defense, like, yeah, no, there's like Broly just does double digit damage to this Goku. So obviously, I don't know if this person is just trying to say that they don't think he's very good and that they're just being overly dramatic. But yes, he absolutely does not die to Red Zone Broly from the 7th anniversary. Maybe if you're running him at 0% hidden potential with on a team where he's not getting the leader skill, then maybe. But Ashura says he is hype. Gothkua, yeah, this guy doesn't like anything super class, only likes extreme. So doesn't like any superclass units. He's solid, says Ant. Giovanni says he's a very straightforward unit with barely any restrictions, and honestly his leader skill is really interesting since the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4s will be on it, the full 220. Pretty excited for this release. Yeah, he's one of those units where, like, as a creator and that, like, it's hard to take my own advice, because I feel like for a lot of people he should be a skip. Like, you should be saving for your anniversary fund. I should be saving for my anniversary fund, but I really want him because of his leader skill and having all the hero Super Saiyan 4s and how good he'll be on a giant 8-power team and all that kind of stuff. So he leads demonic power. Oh yeah, could you imagine if they easy 8 these guys as part of his celebration? That would be very, very interesting. These guys could be very, very good on his team for sure. Like Orange Piccolo, we could go back to being the best unit in the game potentially with a really good Easy A, and Gohan could get a very, very good Easy A as well. Very happy with the arrival of Super Saiyan 4 Mini Goku. I must say he's very strong. I'm grateful that we have a Super Tech Giant 8-power unit. Yeah, because we really only had the full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku and then Tech Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and they're both very outdated now. If the animations of Mini Goku are beautiful, imagine the adult LR version. Yeah, because his animations look fantastic. He should have been a bit better defensively. That's fair. Offensively, I have to see him in game. Offensively, he looks fine, but that's never really a concern. I'm not sure how he's going to do with guard and 44% damage reduction. The dodge is alright, but lower than 50 isn't great. He does have Super Saiyan 4 Goku extra 10%, but the guard runs out. Yeah, because that's the other thing as well. Running him with the AGL LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, he's going to be getting an extra 70% defense and 10% damage reduction. So he's actually going to have 54% damage reduction, as well as much higher defense even before he's super attacked. So yeah, that's going to make a difference for sure. So yeah, it's definitely very interesting. I can't wait to see him actually in game. Obviously, we'll have to wait until the data download, and then of course, you know, the advanced showcases will start coming out. I've said before, like, I don't use one of the private servers that gets updated the second the data download comes out. So I'm usually, even if I can do like the early pre-release showcases, I can't do them as early as some other people, but I will probably try and get one done for this guy if I can, because obviously he seems like he is going to be very, very good, and I'm very excited to try him and his team. And then yeah, lastly, we do have the comment, very good, I am using all my stones. I mean, if you're super hyped for this guy, then, you know, I'm happy for you that he's coming and that you're really hyped. But I would say, I would obviously absolutely not recommend anyone be going in with like all their stones, considering it's almost certain that one of the anniversary units will just be straight up the best unit in the game. So obviously if you're going into the anniversary with no stones, then, you know, the chances of pulling them are incredibly low. And remember, this isn't the 10th anniversary again. We're probably very, very unlikely to get one of those dragon stones for the free character. You never know, that it's something that they could do again in the future, but we absolutely should be going into this next anniversary under the impression that they're not going to do that. If you're just being carefree with your stones because you're like, it's fine, we're going to get another free anniversary headliner anyway, that's something that they did specifically for the 10th anniversary and is probably not something that we are going to see again. So yeah, you want to make sure you have got stones going into the anniversary, because as I say, one of these units is almost certainly going to be the new best unit in the game, and so you are going to want as good a chance as you can to be able to pull them. So there you go. General consensus seemed to be that most people are pretty happy with him. Obviously people waiting to see exactly how good he's going to be when we see him in game, but most people are pretty happy, maybe a little bit concerned about his defense, which as I've said already, I could be as well. But the more I think about it and the more I sort of talk about it in this video, I do think he will be fine for the most part, because he's going to tank all normals. He's going to be able to counter Ki Blast supers, and then he still has the potential to dodge the other supers that could kill him. So it's not like one of those units where you put him in a slot, you hope the enemy doesn't super there, and then as soon as you see the enemy start to do their super attack animation in that slot, you instantly know that you're just dead because that unit can't take it. Whereas this Goku could at least still potentially dodge it. But I think he's very good. Looking forward to him coming out. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you didn't make it in time into the video for the comment, do just let us know how you feel about him in the comment section of this video here. And obviously if you did make it in and you want to expand on your comment at all, obviously feel free to do that down below. But yeah, let me know what you guys think on the mini Super Saiyan 4 Goku in the comments. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.